All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to skip all the abstract theory and dive headfirst into a real-world client project. Seriously, we're going to build a car dealership website from the ground up, step by step. This is exactly the kind of thing you're going to get hired to do. So, let's get our hands dirty.
And this is where it all started. This simple request. You know, a car dealership site is such a classic, high-demand project, which honestly makes it the perfect case study for us. We're not just following some random tutorial here. We're actually looking inside a real freelance job, from the very beginning to the final handover.
Okay, so first things first. Before you even think about writing a single line of code or picking a cool font, you have to do this. This is the most critical phase, understanding what the client actually wants. I'm not kidding, this is where projects either succeed or totally fall apart.
So what this boils down to is the client needs a digital showroom. That's the key phrase. Their physical car lot needs a virtual twin. And the tool we're going to use for the job? WordPress. It's an absolute workhorse, and it's perfect for a project like this because it gives us such a solid foundation to build everything on top of.
So now that the goal is crystal clear, we can move into the blueprint phase. Think about it. An architect would never, ever start building a house without a detailed plan, right? Well, we're the same. We need to map out the entire website structure before we even start the build.
Our blueprint is really broken down into 3 simple questions we need to answer. First, how are we going to organize all the cars? Second, how will customers actually find the car they want? And third, probably the most important, how do they get in touch with the dealership to buy it? Literally every decision we make from here on out will flow from these 3 points. Let's tackle that first question, which is maybe the most fundamental strategic decision we'll make. How do we categorize the cars? And this isn't just some technical thing for us. It's about mirroring how a real customer actually thinks when they're shopping for a vehicle.
And the most important split, coming straight from the client, is separating new cars from used cars. It's usually the very first choice a visitor is going to make. And this one single decision immediately clarifies the user's entire journey. And for us, it becomes the foundation for how we structure the whole site. Simple, but powerful.
All right, with our blueprint in hand, we get to shift from planning to building. This is the fun part, right? This is the phase where we start translating all those strategic decisions into actual tangible features that bring this digital showroom to life. So our first technical task is to choose the site's foundation, the WordPress theme. And let me tell you, this is a massive decision. You have to think of a theme as the architectural style and the core layout of our site. It doesn't just dictate the look and feel, it dictates a huge chunk of its built-in functionality. Now, what makes a theme suitable? Well, notice how every one of these points links directly back to the client's goals. We need a theme that's built specifically for cars, with powerful search. It's got to look professional enough to convince someone to buy an expensive vehicle, and just as important, it has to be simple enough for the dealership staff to use without calling you every 5 minutes.
Okay, so if the theme is the foundation or the chassis of the car, then the search function, that's the engine. This is, without a doubt, the single most important tool for the customer. If it's slow or confusing or just doesn't work well, you've lost the sale. It's that simple.
So, this right here, this is the bare minimum, the absolute essentials for our search tool. A user has to be able to filter by condition, new or used, and then by make, model, and of course price range. Without these, the search is practically useless, because these are the most basic questions any buyer has.
So we've built a beautiful showroom, and it's got a powerful engine. Now it's time for the final, and honestly, the most important phase, making the sale. This is where we build the bridge between the person just browsing online and then becoming an actual in-person buyer.
Every single feature we've built, every choice we've made, it all leads to this one moment, turning an anonymous visitor into a real sales lead. Let's be real. The whole point of this website is to generate more business for the dealership.
So how do we actually do that? By providing super clear, impossible-to-miss calls to action. A simple contact form, a phone number that's displayed prominently on every page, and a really specific, high-intent button like Request a Test Drive. These things are essential. They are the digital handshakes that kick off the sales conversation.
Okay, let's zoom out for a minute. We've just walked through a complete project, from start to finish. But the real lesson here isn't just about how to build this one website. It's about a process, a workflow, that you can apply to any client project you ever get.
This is the core idea we've been using the whole time. You can call it the client-centric workflow. All it means is that you never add a feature just because it's cool. No, you add it because it directly solves a problem or achieves a specific goal for the client. This whole approach ensures you're always delivering real, measurable business value.
So, if you take one thing away from this, it's this simple, repeatable template. Plan, build, and connect. First, you plan. You understand the client's actual goal. Second, you build, but only the features needed to hit that goal. And third, you connect. You create that bridge that turns your website into actual business results.
So, I'll leave you with this question. We built the essential, must-have version of this site. Now it's your turn to think. Using this framework, what's the one unique feature you would build to make this project really, truly stand out for both the client and their customers? Think about it.